Hi, welcome to Everything Embedded. In this video, as you must have seen the title and the thumbnail, I'll be talking about TicTacToe, the intelligent version, which uses the Minimax algorithm. And I've also added few more bells and whistles to this game now. So we can see how it plays out. What's the difference between this and the previous one? If you have not seen the previous video, where I showed the dumb version of TicTacToe written in Qt. Please make sure to watch that. You can also download the source code from the link which I have provided in the video. And I'll also be uploading the source files along with all the other sound files and other things and provide you with the link. And if you're interested, you can download the source code from there, build the project yourself and play with it. But even if you don't download the source code, in case you are interested to see how things are done, maybe you can watch the video till the end, and that should be helpful to you in case of if you are planning to use such features in your project. Right, so what exactly are the changes compared to the previous one? Well, let me start and let's play the tic-tac-toe game here, and see, I'm trying to capture the sound output as well. So if that makes it, hopefully that sound should be captured. Okay, I have opened the project in the Qt creator. I'll just run the project now. All right. So we have a nice music now, like a arcade, like a retro game. So, right. And let's click on somewhere. Okay, we hear some sound effects as well now. And as you can see, it's getting more intelligent now. So it knows where to put the crosses and other things. And if the game was a draw, you hear the sound effects. Let's start all over again. So to win, we also draw a line as well now. So which shows what the win was, whether it was horizontal or vertical or diagonal. Right. So this one uses the Minimax algorithm. I'll explain the code in a minute, but I'm deliberately playing the game in various configurations and other settings so you can see how, when the game is won, how these things are drawn. We'll discuss all those things in the code as well. And there is a background music, as you can hear. So if you win it diagonally, you do that. It does that as well. Okay. Anything more interesting? Right? All right. Looks great as well. Cool. I think I'm beginning to like it now. It's getting to be a bit more interesting and playable now. Okay. So as you can see, the computer is winning more and more often now. So a perfect game of tic-tac-toe is where either, since we are the programmers, either the computer wins or the game is a draw. We don't want the user to win. Let's see if the user can win this game. So I'm playing as a user, of course. So can I win? I have not won even a single game up till now. Can I make it draw? Yes, I can draw the game out. But I can't win. And that's what has been happening here. It won't let me win. The game can be a draw or the computer will win. But the user is not winning the game. As you can see. So it's a draw. The user can't win the game. So either the game will be a draw or the computer will win the game. Well, I think that is interesting. This should hopefully make you curious as to how it is being done. So let's look at the code. What are the code changes which I have to do? And hopefully that should give us. I'll quit this game now. Let me quit the game here and I'll take you to the source code. Okay, so I have opened the source code again, And if you have been following the previous videos, so I'm using the same project, the painter project, which has the painter board class. So that's where all the modifications are taking place, and that's where we have been adding stuff. So let's jump down to the interesting bit, really. How to make sure that the computer will always win or the game will be a draw. What exactly I had to do. So I'll just take you to the main piece of code here, and what is exactly going on here. So I'm sure even if you do a Google search, you will come across a Minimax algorithm. It's the algorithm whereby especially used in the for tic-tac-toe games, where you want the computer to win and or make sure that the game is a draw. So what exactly is going on in this algorithm, what it does? Well, in this video, unfortunately, cannot be that long, and which will explain to you what Minimax algorithm is in detail. But I do plan to make another video which will actually show you what is Minimax doing. So this video I wanted to cover about the changes which I had to do to make sure that we use the Minimax algorithm, and also add sound effects to the Qt project, because the ultimate goal, as I mentioned before, is to reuse this code and see if that can be taken to a Raspberry Pi platform, where we can use this Qt project and maybe write the game there. So if it works on the Raspberry Pi using the same project or with some minimal modifications, then that would be fantastic. And then the next goal would be to take the reusable part of the source code and use it on the STM32 microcontroller. So I have a touch-based STM32 microcontroller, and I want to write a TicTacToe for that one, which also should support a Minimax. So all this is being done in preparation for that kind of goal, basically. So what is Minimax? Well, in short, what we are doing is we are playing ahead. Since the computer has a lot of computing power, and it can look ahead, it can play the game. So it can mimic as the user, it can mimic as the computer itself, of course, and play the game and see what will be the winning sequence. So that is what is the Minimax algorithm in short. That's what it does. And if it hence the computer knows which move or which piece, when you move it here, will get a win and which will get a draw. So it knows that because it has already played ahead, because the computers are very fast. They can play all the future moves and then give you the best route, that this is the route which you need to take. So hopefully it should be a piece of cake to implement that. I'll show you the code. Well, the code, as far as the code goes, the code is very simple, to be honest, but it is the understanding behind the Minimax algorithm which is trickier. And this video unfortunately will not dwell into how Minimax works, but what I plan to make is I want to show it visually, what is Minimax actually doing. That is the ultimate goal for me, to write a debug version of this game with support for a visual debugger, where you can see what the Minimax is doing, and in order for you to achieve that move, what happens behind that move. So, but at least let us discuss about the code, what it was doing. So as I said, we have a recursive method called as Minimax, which plays the game either pretending to be a player, a user, or pretending to be a computer. So that's what it does, and it computes the best path which needs to be used, and that is then used. If the path leads to a win, we will take that move and till it finds optimum path. If it can't find a winning path, then it will go for the one which will produce a draw. In short, that is what Minimax is. But as I said, the best way to explain that is to in fact see what's going on in the what it does visually. So there are methods like compute scores, which will compute a score for each and every state of the game. And we keep a track of the score. And then when the user clicks on the one of the screens for one of the pieces, that's where we compute the scores, find out the best score, and place our piece there. So, well, this is in short, this is what Minimax is. But as I said, I'll be dwelling more deeper into that. And what are the other interesting bits here? Well, as you must have guessed it, I am playing sound effects as well. So the sound effects are done by Qt's Q sound effect class, which allows you to play low latency sounds like booms, clicks, bangs, which will take, so when it plays the sound, they tend to play very quickly. So this class is very suitable for playing, for using in games, Q sound effects. And how do we actually play the sounds? So let's look at the method. So I have a method called as play background music, and I have a resource file as well. Now I have added a resource file wherein inside the program now we have various wave files, the various sound effects files which are stored now, and we just call the method play. We can also specify the volume, and there is a flag that if you want to play this music repeatedly, you can just use a method called a set loop count and pass a value of infinite, which will allow you to play the background music continuously. That is what was going on. That's for the background music. And for the various clicks and other effects, like the game was a draw or other things, we again use the same class, but instead of calling it in a loop, we just you call the method play. So playing the sound effects is simple enough, really. Nothing interesting, or I mean, yeah, but it keeps game quite, I should say, entertaining. And what are the other changes? Well, the other interesting change is to how to draw the winning lines, the yellow lines which you just saw on the screen, which shows you what are the three pieces which cause the game to be either to be drawn, basically. To be won. When the game is won, what are the three pieces which did that magic? So I've added a method called as draw winning lines. All it just does is it just calls a method in the Q painter called draw line, and we just store the positions of the winning rectangles, and we just draw a line between them. That's all has been happening here. So again, you know what goes on behind that. And is there anything interesting further? Well, we just display the appropriate message if the computer wins, or if the user wins, or if the game is draw, and play the appropriate sound effects. So, well, yeah, that is what was going on in this game now. Hopefully, this should give you some idea as to what is involved in this. But as I said, Minimax is a very complex algorithm, and it has to be covered separately on its own, and it needs to be covered in a visual way where we can see what it's doing, what are the various game states it's producing, and how it selects the right one for us. That will actually help to demystify the code here. As far as the code goes, it is just a simple 10-liner code. Nothing. But yeah, hopefully this should give you a feel for the game as well as a feel for the code. And I have already uploaded the code to the page. I'll provide the link in the video. And I will see you shortly in the next video. Thank you very much for supporting my channel. Cheers. Bye-bye.